Hello, and welcome back to another Smoke Signal synopsis where I summarize what stories are in the April 1st, 2022 edition of the Smoke Signals newspaper. A quick note, the summaries I'm providing are just a brief introduction to the stories, and we encourage you to read the entire paper for yourself at smokesignals.org. You can find a PDF version of the paper in the top left corner of our website. So let's take a look at the front page. At the top of the page, you'll see a widely read story on the Grand Ronde tribe departing from discussions with the Willamette Falls Legacy Project, according to a March 17th letter from Tribal Council Chairwoman Cheryl A. Kennedy. Kennedy said the tribe has seen little progress at the Willamette Falls from other entities while significant public resources have been spent. That full story is continued on page 7. In another story, we explain all the moving parts as the tribe intensifies its push to overturn the 1980s consent decree that limits tribal members' ability to hunt and fish within their ancestral homelands. If you want to read that story directly from our website, we have hyperlinks to an op-ed Kennedy published in the Oregonian, her testimony before the Senate's Indian Affairs Committee, and on the tribe's website, we have videos. If you're reading it from the PDF online, you can find that story on page 12. The last story we have on the front page is on the Corvallis School District hosting a ceremony on Thursday, April 14th to honor Grand Ronde Tribal Elder Catherine Jones Harrison as they rename Jaguar Elementary the Catherine Jones Harrison Elementary School. That story is continued on page 8. After a 2-year hiatus, the Tribal Housing Department Easter egg hunt is back. The event will be held at 10 a.m. on Saturday, April 16th at the covered area in the tribal housing on Raven Loop. If you are planning to attend that event, make sure you're reading the full story from a message from the event organizers. We cover the tribe's monthly Facebook Live meeting, and this meeting specifically addressed housing. Kennedy, Tribal Council member Kathleen George, Tribal Council Secretary Michael Langley, Housing Department Manager Sean Lino, and Tribal Engineer and Planning Manager Ryan Webb participated. You can read the highlights from that meeting on page 5. In another meeting, Tribal Council named longtime tribal employee Tanner Fish as the director for the Grand Ronde Gaming Commission during its Wednesday, March 23rd Tribal Council meeting. You can read that story and other actions from that meeting on page 6. The person suspected of starting the fire at the Blue Heron property was found guilty of several felony and misdemeanor charges on Thursday, March 10th. You can read that full story continued on page 9. There are a few more stories in the paper you can read, so be sure to check those out. You can read all these stories now at smokesignals.org as a PDF or in the print edition coming to you soon. I'm Kamaya, the social media digital journalist for Smoke Signals.